well, our new garden is all about rhododendrons. It's the Rhododendron Discovery Garden.
It'll be a beautiful place. Anybody can walk through it and just have a very nice restorative time. But the garden is designed to tell stories. In fact, we determined at the outset, before the design started, what do we want to talk about? And there are 3 sets of stories.
The new Rhododendron Discovery Garden, first we decided the educational messages, and then we planted it to support those educational messages.
First is diversity and evolution of rhododendrons. People don't know that there are 1,000 species of rhododendrons, and some are native to Ohio. And a lot of people don't know that an azalea and a rhododendron is really the same thing. So that's one set of stories. The second is, how do you take that natural diversity and hybridize and select it in order to create new varieties for garden use?
Hybridizers are people who try to come up with new types of rhododendrons. So maybe they're trying to fix a fungus so that or make a rhododendron grow in a place that's, the soil is heavier, or maybe it's more cold hardy or has a specific bloom color. So hybridizers kind of take 2 different rhododendrons, cross them, and see what they get.
Traditionally, the primary emphasis in hybridizing rhododendrons has been to create new colors or deeper green leaves or fuller and larger plants. In other words, it's been all aesthetics. Now the primary focus is keeping those valuable aesthetic attributes, but also focusing on disease resistance.
Rhododendrons are really important to this area, mostly because we actually have a very rich rhododendron history here in northeastern Ohio, as we've had some famous hybridizers come from northeastern Ohio.
Steve Krebs at the Elite Research Station is breeding disease resistance into rhododendrons, but also adding color, shape, and form as well.
Steve Krebs is following on the tradition of David Leach, who is in the pantheon of rhododendron hybridizers. And David Leach left his garden and his operation to us when he passed away. So this is a facility we have, a satellite facility out in Madison, Ohio.
We're breeding new varieties of rhododendrons that have different characteristics than ones have in the past. So there'll be more hardy yellow rhododendrons or more disease-resistant roots on these rhododendrons. So you can have the reds, the yellows, and the purples. They'll take more poorly drained soils because of this resistance, so they can be planted in more landscapes, not just in well-drained landscapes.
Then finally, the logical third step is, how do you grow rhododendrons successfully in home gardens?
It's been designed around a message, and that's what we want this garden to do, is to tell a message. But it's our first big comprehensive new garden in years, and it's the first one done so thoroughly, integrating the design, the education, and the research, because it also demonstrates some of the research that's going on with and breeding with rhododendrons in Holden.
So we started with those stories and then said, okay, what trees do we want to put in? Trees, shrubs, herbs, and how do we want to design a garden to tell those stories? So the design, just like any good museum exhibit, proceeded from the educational function of it.
You have never seen a more beautiful garden than our rhododendron garden in full bloom. So if I really wanted somebody to come, I'd say they would be awed by its beauty.